It's hard to sell without buyers. So here we'll take a look at several different buyer personas and what drives them during the sale. Across the MetaLogic solution spectrum, the SharePoint administrator plays a key role in buying. However, the content replication, they're a key influencer. The typical scenario is that a SharePoint administrator researches SharePoint replication to avoid customer complaints and overcome basic SharePoint challenges, whether for globally dispersed environments, continuity of operations, or just to create an extranet. They've done the research and may even build a business case for replication, but it usually takes a full budget cycle for them to actually affect change. With Replicator, the IT director or manager is the true buyer. Remember, the average sales price for Replicator is about $45,000, which includes several licenses. So we're usually talking complex farms and complex budgeting. In IT, they're trying to avoid the complaints from the users about performance and, well, feedback from the SharePoint administrators that SharePoint wasn't really designed for what they're trying to do. Or just add a ton of more RAM and the servers will make it all work. No, not really. But those are the problems that the IT director manager is trying to face. Here, you might come across the network administrator as in with other sales. And they can support you because Replicator helps optimize bandwidth of collaboration. But they also could cause a problem if they think it's going to be an increased load on the bandwidth. They play a bigger role in organizations where they're also responsible for satellites, and that's really cost optimization. So if working with a network administrator, you need to gauge where they're coming from. Now, an interesting thing about Replicator is that it could go all the way up to the CIO. They're not always the buyer, but they're certainly involved on the $200,000 to $1 million deals. Yes, I said it, there have been several $1 million replication deals. The CIO is concerned with mission-critical environments, whether supporting military or commercial environments that are highly regulated. Speaking of regulation, during the Replicator sales cycle, you might be working specifically with a business unit or, a business stakeholder from a subset of the organization. In many cases, these are the groups that are gaining the value from SharePoint and they want to take a full advantage of synchronization. Just an example, for several energy ship-to-shore situations, the maintenance group is in charge of replication because they have to make sure that the correct materials are always available by the ship's engineers. So it's this small, very important piece of the puzzle to maintain a ship that is driving content replication from headquarters to the ship. For Replicator, the bigger the farm, the higher the buyer will be within the organization. The SharePoint administrator is your biggest ally and definitely a user, but the messaging goes straight to the business for a successful sale.